Yeah, so obviously what goes on here then is concealment of the execution of an innocent man who was difficult to understand at that time in history under the structure of the political structure. King and Queen hated him. One of his own followers accepted bribe money to endorse his kidnap. Um, Stoning for homosexual love to death was the norm, and if a man lay with a man as he would with a woman, um, this was absolutely in place at the time. So the concept of a bisexual was ruled out um, by the laws in time at that point in time. Um, if I was to say to you, in all honesty, let's talk about the supernatural, all I could say is let that sentence, like, let's talk about the supernatural. Otherwise, it's going beyond nature. If what they mean is beyond empiricism, then they should say, well, let's talk abstract, non-empiricism based ideas. But once an attempt is made to quantify anything supernatural, said to be supernatural, I'm not sure what's been said here, except that we're saying this type of person is out of this world, is not accepted, is not been permitted normality, um, and in that sense, they they'll make some of them crazy through attrition, um, absconding due process and justice, and things like the betrayal of nearly a decade's service to the sick. The pharmacist I admire the most, I won't say his name, but he sort of was complimentary to Hippocrates and respected his scope and limitations. When I was studying to be a dispensary technician, it was the chapter on the scope and limitations of a dispensary technician that I appreciated the most, because it went into detail about what a dispensary technician is not to do. And so, these sky's the limits ballistic. They can't come against our religion, or they'll be discriminating. And their religion is open to all manners of human rights abuses and atrocities. So as you'll notice that the trail becomes stories from the pagan deities, many of which were also said to have been crucified and rose again 3 days later, go around performing miracles. Krishna of India, the stories, mythologies were everywhere. So if it would dishonor the king and queen too much if an innocent person was executed. So they do what they did at the start with Genesis. Although, yeah, incest is obviously quite holy. I think, by implication of any argument you want to have that says the human race began with one man and one woman, there's nothing but inbreeding. Yeah, and so the case for Christ is that you'll notice not just that more miracles are added. The original Gospel of Mark admits that the oldest and best manuscripts lacked a resurrection account. So there was no claim that he was found alive 3 days after his crucifixion. He just is said to have died. There's the interpolation there. What we don't even have in Mark is an indisputable proof of a confession. We have what could have been a foreign or a language